Changing themes a little bit, our next issuer is called Input Capital. Input Capital employs the popular streaming model, where the issuer makes an upfront capital payment to a producer of a commodity in return for securing a given volume of that commodity every year for a fixed price. This has been extremely successful in the mining business, giving rise to great companies like Franco-Nevada, Royal Gold, Silver Wheaton, Sandstorm Resources. Input Capital uses it in the food business, in particular in the canola business and in other grains. In this circumstance, Input Capital provides either production or acquisition financing for farmers, and in return for which buys guaranteed streams or access to supplies of oil grains, in particular canola. Input Capital is not a startup. They've been in this business now for 4.5 years, and they are already enjoying substantial free cash. What's important to note is that they are the first mover in this space. They invented, if you will, streaming agricultural finance, and this is an area, agricultural finance, that we believe is wide open and has a lot of potential. This relieves you from a lot of the price risk associated with farming. It relieves you the operational risks associated with farming. It relieves you of the managerial challenges associated with farming. It makes, in effect, a soft commodity investment that's a financial investment. The success of Input Capital, we think early on, is a suggestion of just how successful this company can be when you consider the fact that they are unlikely to have financed even 0.1% of the potential customers for this innovative financial product. The next sponsor I'm particularly proud of is a platinum level sponsor. That's Ivanhoe Mines. I've talked about Ivanhoe Mines earlier in this presentation, or I've talked about at least Robert Friedland, who is the chairman of Ivanhoe Mines, earlier. Robert Friedland has been the most serially successful mining financier of my generation. He has been responsible for 5 world-class discoveries. It is difficult to talk about Robert using anything other than superlatives. When you attend the conference, you will see that Robert Friedland is the keynote speaker, and I think in many regards the most important speaker that you will hear. And Ivanhoe Mines is a unique speculation. It is very rare for a company to get a world-class deposit, a Tier 1 deposit. They're extremely unusual and extremely valuable. Robert doesn't have one world-class deposit. Robert Friedland has 4 world-class deposits in one wrapper, Ivanhoe Mines. The Flat Reef, which is, I think, the most important platinum discovery in the world, certainly in South Africa, in the last 80 years. A deposit which has 80 million ounces of platinum and palladium delineated. By the way, this wasn't an overnight occurrence. Robert worked 2 decades on this discovery to be an overnight success. Moving north, the Kipushi, or King Leopold mine, while it isn't the size of Flat Reef, has the unique advantage of being the single highest grade base metals mine in the world, with combined copper, zinc, silver grades in some areas exceeding 50%. I was recently underground at Kipushi, and I will tell you that being in front of an ore body with 50% contained metal is almost a psychedelic event. But that isn't the story either. West of there, at the western part of the Katanga Copper Belt, Ivanhoe has made 2 absolutely spectacular discoveries, the Kamoa deposit and the Kakula deposit, 2 distinct deposits on one exploration concession. It's difficult to overstate the importance of these discoveries. To begin with, the cutoff grade in the most recent economic assessment was 3%. This is an interesting statistic because the average mine grade of copper deposits worldwide is 0.6%. So the cutoff grade here, the grade below which they won't take material, is 5 times the average produced grade worldwide. This is, in fact, these are 2 enormous deposits, but in addition to being enormous deposits, these are 2 high-grade deposits. Their partner in these deposits is Zijin Mining, the largest of the Chinese non-ferrous metals mining company, and independently a client of Sprott. So we've come to know these deposits both through Ivanhoe and through Zijin extremely well. It's also worthy to note that their partner in the Flat Reef project, the platinum project in South Africa, is JOCMEC, if you will, the government of Japan, backed by the largest industrial companies in Japan. It's further worth noting that JOCMEC, that is the Japanese government, paid $280 million for a 10% interest in the Flat Reef project. Given that Ivanhoe enjoys a 65% interest in that project, it's arguable that the value of the Flat Reef project in Ivanhoe is worth more than the entire capitalization of Ivanhoe Mines, giving you substantial cash assets, the Kipushi deposit, the Kamoa deposit, pardon me, and the Kakula deposit for free. All of that wrapped around the most successful mining entrepreneur that I have met in my life. This is a truly unique opportunity. Why is it so cheap? People are afraid of Congo. People are afraid of South Africa. A risk, I believe, worth taking. People say, how can you finance a project in South Africa? How can you finance a project in Congo? I have learned that very high quality projects finance themselves. Robert's last activity was in Mongolia. Not a place that the mining finance industry was familiar with, but $7 billion went to financing the build out of that deposit. The government of Japan and the largest mining company, the largest non-ferrous metals mining company in China, would seem to agree with me. We hope you do too. Kootenay Silver Inc. is another one of the Sprott silver stories. The company was formed by the amalgamation of 2 successful silver explorers in Mexico. This is a company that is not yet in production, but importantly has made 2 important silver discoveries, which we think could be economic, either by getting bigger through exploration, or establishing higher grade cores through exploration, or simply from an increase in the silver price. We have been involved in these companies, including the predecessor North Air, for many years, and look forward to continued exploration success and the leverage to the higher silver price offered by these 2 large and exciting discoveries. We have been involved with the next exhibitor, Lara Exploration, since its founding. Lara Exploration is a prospect generator, another of the companies that use their technical and commercial acumen to generate projects and then farm them out to other companies to do the heavy lifting. Importantly, Lara Exploration was responsible in a spin-out for one of the most successful efforts that we had through the last bear market. That was Reservoir Minerals. The ultimate author of the success at Reservoir Minerals was Lara Exploration. And the current management team at Lara, that is, in particular, the presenters that you will hear. Lara is active as a prospect generator primarily in Brazil, but really across South America. This is a conjunction of people that have 20 or 25 years experience in the terrain that they're exploring, but importantly, a team that has experienced recent success with Reservoir, a world-class discovery and sale. The success that they had at Reservoir at once reassures existing investors as to the skill in finance and product selection exhibited by the team, but also importantly allows the team access to new projects and new capital, the type of advantage that accrues to a successful team. And make no mistake, this has been an extremely successful team. I have known these people well for many years. I've done business with them through many corporate incarnations, and I look forward to enjoying the same success with them in Lara that I have enjoyed in their prior efforts, in particular the success that we recently enjoyed with Reservoir Minerals. And I'd like to take this moment to congratulate the Lara team and thank them on behalf of Sprott investors for that extraordinary success. The next issuer that I'd like to talk about is a new company and new to the Sprott fold. It's called Leagold, but it is the combination of some talents and some investors who have been known to Sprott for a very long period of time. It reunites Neil Woodyear and Frank Giustra, the people behind the incredible success of Endeavour Mining and before that Endeavour Financial. These are people with whom we have done business for 2 decades. Of course, it involves the sale of a project from Gold Corp that was ironically financed into Gold Corp by Frank Giustra, the same person who is financing the sale of that project and its recapitalization in Leagold. We can only hope that this renewed effort by Mr. Giustra and Mr. Woodyear will be as successful as the past was at Endeavour Mining, their incredible success in West Africa. They have suggested that they have a new focus area, that is the Americas, a new team, and we have many, many reasons, meaning share certificates, to wish them every possible success. One of the Sprott organization's most important historic alliances has been with the next exhibitor, the Lundin Group. I did my first transaction with the Lundin Group in the form of Adolf Lundin, now deceased, in 1975. And the relationship has been continually pleasant and continually rewarding. The Lundin Group now is a worldwide multi-company success story. And their successes over time in the oil and gas and the mining business have been absolutely legendary. As I understand it, there will be 4 companies from the Lundin Group exhibiting here. Filo Mining, a silver explorer in Argentina and Chile. Lucara Diamond, an extremely successful diamond producer in Africa. Lundin Gold, bringing forward the spectacular Fruta del Norte discovery in Ecuador. And NGEx Resources, an outgrowth of Lundin's absolutely continually successful exploration efforts in the Andean Cordillera. You will meet an amazingly successful group of explorationists that are backed by a family in the form of Lucas Lundin and his brother Ian Lundin that have been successful decade after decade in exploration. A unique set of circumstances, a unique range of talents, a very long-term relationship, both for myself and the Sprott Group. It would be difficult for me to explain how much faith I have and the fond personal regard I have for the Lundin family and for the teams that they have assembled over the last 30 years. Lydian International is our next exhibitor. Lydian has spent about 12 years now advancing a gold project in Armenia. This is a very high quality project, high quality in the sense that it's a very large deposit, but it's also a deposit, importantly, that's formed around an anticline, which is a different way of saying it sticks out of the ground. The most important energy which will be used in this mine will be gravity, meaning that rather than raising the rock from a hole in the ground, you will be lowering the rock from a hillside down to the surrounding ground. There have been substantial social and political challenges developing a mine in Armenia, which we believe are largely responsible for the depressed share price of Lydian. Certainly, this is a deposit that's been technically de-risked, and most of the questions surrounding financing the deposit to production have been answered, albeit painfully. What remains now is to solve the rest of the political challenges associated with putting this deposit in production. A review of the technical attributes suggests that once this project is put in production, most of the risks that we face, in fact, all the technical risks that we face, will be behind us. For those of you who are willing to take political risks, as I am, the technical risks here we